fraud that goes on out there. Best example is Madoff. I want to make sure that you have learned all the lessons that can be learned there. One of the things with Madoff is he submitted audited financial statements audited by a firm so small that they could not have done an audit of his operation. You might also have a circumstance where the firm is just barely enough to have done the work, but if they did it, that would have to be like half their fees for the year, and they would have lost independence. You may have a circumstance where the audit firm doesn't exist, and you may have a firm that does exist, but the issuer just steals a piece of stationery. What systems have you gone through to make sure that the auditor sends you a copy of the audit opinion or emails it into you, so you know that the issuer is not submitting a forged audit opinion?
Obviously, the PCAOB was created by Sarbanes-Oxley to oversee the public audit of public companies, and I think that they have, mechanisms.
This is more, how do you?
Is your question in connection with?
Yeah, when a registration statement is submitted,
right,
it's submitted by the issuer. How do you, when a Reg D document is submitted, et cetera, all levels, from public to A+, to A- to A++, whatever, Reg A, Reg D, how do you make sure that, in fact, the CPA firm did, in fact, sign that opinion? It's not a forgery.
Well, the division.
Do you bother to contact the firm?
The Division of Corporation Finance reviews filings by companies.
Do they have a system, or you don't know whether they have a system?
Sitting here today, I can't tell you what their system is. I know if they were to find a red flag that suggested there's an issue, they would refer it to us.
The answer is, I believe, last I checked, they have no system. Madoff happens. Madoff happened because 10 or 12 of the barn doors were open. They've closed one or two. They've gone on to other things. There'll be more fraud, and then there'll be more work for you folks to do and more big fines to collect, which will get the agency more big and good headlines. What does your enforcement division do with regard to the Ponzi schemes that are out there being sold by people who wouldn't know a registration statement if it hit them in the face? Are you trolling the internet and finding the Ponzi schemes, or are you going to tell me that, well, you're not a law enforcement agency, so you won't do that?
We do that, amongst many other things. We obtain over 15,000 TCRs, tips, complaints, and referrals a year.
Well, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about. Are you trolling, or are you just waiting for people to tell you?
We do have proactive efforts in a number of areas, including pyramid schemes, microcap fraud, and that kind of.
Do you actually have at least one employee who's trolling the internet, finding the bogus offers that are out there to investors?
We do in a number of areas, including microcap fraud, pyramid schemes, and the like. We do affirmative, proactive surveillance.
Gotcha. Now, you're asking for a 7% increase in the SEC's acting for a 7% increase in the budget. How would that be spent? Why is it necessary?
Yeah, the portion of that budget that is related to the Enforcement Division relates to 93 positions that we've asked for. I think the way we break it down is really three categories of additional needs. One is data analytics. We anticipate 20 people would be in data analytics. We have a huge amount of data now available to us. Using that to detect misconduct is a great opportunity and something that we really need to be doing. Second is for investigators, about 50 additional people there. And there, I think the point is we have just tremendous resources that are necessary to investigate complex schemes. And the third area is trial attorneys, about 20 trial attorneys or so. And there, we've seen an increase in trials.
In these 93 positions, that would be roughly a 7% increase of your division, or is it somewhat different than that?
Our division now is about 1,300 or so employees.
It's pretty close to 7%.
I guess it's about close to 7%.
Close enough for government work. I yield back.
Yeah.
Gentleman yields back.